Hey, English learners, and welcome back to the English Leap podcast, your cozy little place to learn English through real, everyday conversations that actually sound like life. I'm Anna, and today we're talking about something simple, useful, and surprisingly emotional: the weather.
And I'm Jake. Honestly, weather might be one of the easiest conversation topics in the world, but it also tells us a lot about mood, personality, comfort, and daily life.
Before we begin, we just want to remind you that your English does not need to be perfect to be meaningful. Sometimes progress is quiet, awkward, slow, or messy, and that is completely normal.
Absolutely. One day your vocabulary feels strong, and the next day even simple words disappear when you need them most.
Very rude behavior from the vocabulary, honestly. But that's why we practice through natural conversations instead of only memorizing grammar rules.
Exactly. We want English to feel alive, useful, and connected to real life, instead of feeling distant or robotic.
So today, no pressure. Just listen, relax, and enjoy the conversation with us.
Because sometimes improvement begins with a very small moment. You suddenly realize, wait, I actually understood that sentence.
And those moments matter more than people think. Confidence grows quietly before it grows loudly.
So let's begin with today's topic. We're talking about weather in English and why people mention it constantly.
Seriously, people talk about weather everywhere. At work, at cafes, in elevators, outside shops, on public transport, basically anywhere humans stand near other humans.
And that's great news for English learners. You don't need an advanced topic to begin speaking naturally.
Exactly. Sometimes conversation starts with something as small as, "It's cold today," or "Looks like rain later."
Which is definitely safer than walking up to somebody and asking them to explain their deepest emotional struggles. Weather is socially safer for everyone involved.
Much safer. And weather works because it belongs to everybody.
Right. No matter who you are, rich, tired, stressed, busy, late, or relaxed, everybody experiences weather together.
That shared experience makes conversation easier. You don't need background information or special knowledge to join in.
You just need eyes, skin, and a basic relationship with air. Honestly, it's one of the lowest conversation requirements possible.
But still surprisingly effective. People really do talk about weather come rain or shine.
Exactly. And come rain or shine means something happens no matter what conditions exist.
People complain about heat, celebrate sunshine, notice strong wind, or discuss rain constantly. Weather somehow becomes a daily emotional event. Humans are deeply committed to discussing atmospheric inconvenience. It's practically an international hobby. And weather affects mood more than people realize. Sometimes I know what kind of day I'm having the second I look outside. Same here. Bright mornings instantly make life feel a little lighter for me. Not magically perfect, just slightly easier and less emotionally heavy.
That's realistic optimism. Nobody needs a miracle. Sometimes people just need decent sunlight.
Exactly. When the sky brightens up, people often brighten up too.
And that phrase works beautifully because it describes both weather and emotion. A room can brighten up, but a person can brighten up too.
Then there are gray, cloudy days. Some of them feel peaceful and calming.
While others feel like your motivation forgot to arrive. Those days move slowly before they even begin.
Rainy weather can feel comforting, though, especially if you're inside with tea, blankets, and absolutely no responsibilities.
That sounds like emotional luxury. Honestly, that's one of the best forms of peace.
Weather also changes how social people feel. Hot weather can make people tired, while cold weather can make people quiet.
And wind can make people irrationally angry. Strong wind has a surprisingly aggressive personality sometimes.
Especially when it attacks your umbrella or your hair. or your dignity.
Dignity disappears first. Wind shows absolutely no respect for human confidence.
I also think favorite weather says something about personality. People reveal a lot through weather preferences.
Absolutely. Weather choices are basically emotional biographies.
For example, I love rainy weather. Give me gray skies, soft rain, warm tea, and a quiet window, and I'm completely happy.
That surprises nobody.
Rainy weather feels thoughtful, calm, and reflective, which honestly fits your personality perfectly.
I'll accept that description. What kind of weather feels most like you?
I'm definitely a sunny and breezy weather person. Bright weather gives me energy immediately.
You seem like someone who sees sunlight and instantly forgives life for several problems, at least temporarily.
For several hours, yes. Sunshine creates emotional forgiveness.
Summer people and autumn people really do feel different somehow. They carry completely different energy.
Exactly. Summer people arrive saying, let's go outside and enjoy life.
Meanwhile, autumn people arrive carrying coffee, a coat, and several meaningful thoughts. Completely different emotional atmosphere.
That description feels painfully accurate. Autumn people always seem prepared for reflective conversations.
Weather also creates small daily disasters, especially muggy weather.
Oh, yes. Muggy weather is exhausting in the most disrespectful way possible.
And muggy means warm, humid, sticky, and uncomfortable. The kind of weather that drains your energy immediately.
You walk outside for 5 minutes and suddenly feel emotionally defeated. It's impressive, honestly.
Unpredictable weather is stressful too. One minute it's sunny, then rainy, then windy, then hot again.
Which is how people end up carrying sunglasses, jackets, umbrellas, and disappointment at the same time. That combination feels very realistic.
I had one of those days recently. I spent the entire day carrying things I no longer believed in.
That is such a dramatic but accurate sentence. Weather changes its personality constantly sometimes.
And summer creates another problem. At some point, the entire day becomes about trying to cool down.
Fans, cold drinks, shade, air conditioning. People become survival experts. Standing in front of the refrigerator suddenly feels emotionally meaningful.
Honestly, valid behavior. Heat makes people creative.
Rain creates drama too, especially when the weather app confidently lies to you.
False weather confidence is dangerous. You leave home feeling prepared and return emotionally humbled.
Exactly. Everyone has experienced being dressed completely wrong for the weather.
Which is why weather becomes such a relatable topic. Everybody understands those tiny frustrations immediately.
And that relatability helps English learners. It removes pressure from conversation.
Because weather conversations do not require complicated vocabulary. Simple sentences already sound natural.
Like, lovely morning today. Or looks like rain later.
Or bit windy, isn't it? Short sentences often sound the most realistic.
And if you want to sound even more natural, just add a small personal reaction. That instantly makes speech feel human.
For example, it's so hot today, I can't think properly. Or, this weather makes me want to stay inside all day.
Exactly. Real conversation is not just information, it's emotion and reaction.
That's also why people exaggerate weather constantly. Humans become very dramatic about temperature.
As they should. I stepped outside and immediately regretted everything is a perfectly acceptable summer sentence.
Completely acceptable. Weather turns ordinary people into poets sometimes.
And real people don't speak like textbooks. Nobody casually says, the atmospheric conditions are unpleasant.
Absolutely nobody. People say, this heat is too much, or This wind is rude, which honestly sounds much more alive and natural. Natural English usually sounds simpler, not more complicated. Tiny words also make a huge difference. Words like bit, honestly, finally, and kind of.
Exactly. It finally cooled down. Sounds much more human than overly formal speech.
Weather also becomes connected to memory. Sometimes I remember the weather before I remember the conversation itself.
Same here. Certain mornings, walks, holidays, or seasons stay connected to temperature, light, and atmosphere.
A rainy afternoon can become comfort, loneliness, nostalgia, or peace. Weather wraps itself around emotional memory.
And bright, cold mornings can feel like school memories, travel days, or new beginnings. Weather becomes part of life stories.
Which is why weather conversations are never completely empty. People are often talking about emotion without realizing it.
Exactly. When somebody says, "I love rainy days," they're also describing a feeling they enjoy.
And that's encouraging for English learners. Simple sentences can still carry real emotion and personality.
Better English does not always begin with advanced vocabulary. Sometimes it begins with something ordinary and honest.
Like, looks like rain. Or, bit chilly today.
And from there, conversation naturally grows. Small talk slowly becomes real talk.
Before we finish, let's quickly review some useful vocabulary from today's episode. Hearing words in context makes them easier to remember. First word,
Overcast. If the sky is overcast, it's completely covered with clouds.
Example sentence: the sky was overcast all morning, and the city felt quiet.
Next word, muggy. Muggy weather feels warm, humid, sticky, and uncomfortable.
Example sentence: it was so muggy outside, I felt tired immediately.
Next word, brisk. Brisk weather feels cool and fresh in an energizing way.
Example sentence: we walked through the brisk morning air before breakfast.
Next word, refreshing. Refreshing means something makes you feel lighter or more awake.
Example sentence: the cool breeze felt refreshing after the heat.
Next word, unpredictable. Unpredictable weather changes constantly and becomes difficult to trust.
Example sentence: the weather has been unpredictable all week.
Now an idiom, under the weather. It means slightly sick or low on energy.
Example sentence: I'm feeling a little under the weather today, so I'm staying home.
Another idiom, come rain or shine, meaning something happens no matter what.
Example sentence: she goes jogging every morning, come rain or shine.
Now a phrasal verb, clear up. If weather clears up, clouds or rain disappear.
Example sentence: it was cloudy earlier, but it cleared up by afternoon.
And finally, cool down, meaning become less hot.
Example sentence: hopefully it cools down later this evening.
And those were today's weather words and phrases. Try using one or two of them in real conversation this week.
Because language grows through use, not perfection. Small progress still counts as progress.
Exactly. Take care of your English and take care of yourself too.
This is Anna. Thanks for spending time with us today.
And this is Jake. We'll talk to you again very soon. Bye.